Good evening, folks. We are coming to you live, Jets of Time TV, with some quick racing, just a quick thrown together community race from the Jets of Time community, showing off some duplicate characters and practice for a race that's going to be taking place on SG Live this weekend. It's going to be a little bit thrown together, so pardon all the dust and construction. But we should be getting ready to go here very shortly, as soon as I start seeing people saying they're ready in chat. I see most everyone getting onto the waiting screen. We've actually got a lot of people running this race. We've got 4 that are being streamed tonight. Kyuketsuki, lordbatsy, AzureCale, and akuheish are all here for your viewing pleasure. Also racing tonight, Falcon Hit, who has been crushing anyone and everyone recently. Smirk JD is also streaming on his stream. Feel free to go give them a follow as well. So we've got lots of people taking place in this. If you're interested in joining in on Jets of Time fun, I believe this command still works. There's our Discord. Come join the Discord. We've got a lot of people who are willing to teach and get things, get you up to speed on how the randomizer works, and go from just trying to figure out what in the world's going on to speedrunning with the best of us. I mean, we have people who come in, they spend a couple of weeks doing it, all of a sudden they're kicking our tails. It's hilarious. Let's see. We are having a little bit in terms of technical difficulty, so we are going to have a short delay. Give me just a moment. We'll get some music going to keep everyone entertained while we wait for everything to pick up. To those who are here in chat, apologies again for the delay. We'll be getting underway fairly shortly. If anyone has any questions about the randomizer, now's a great time to ask them. Tonight we are doing duplicate characters. Duplicate characters mean that the character you see may not be the character they actually are, which I know sounds really confusing. So as an example, the character may look like Chrono, but be named Frog. So what that is you are Chrono in the sense that you will learn Chrono's techs, use Chrono's weapons. If Chrono had a quest-specific thing, that would be based on the character name. So a chrono who has like the color palette of Frog, might be named Frog but look like Chrono, is Frog in terms of I need him to access Magus's castle. But that particular Frog is going to use Chrono weapons and Chrono techs. It'll make sense once we start playing. But it does take a little bit of time to get your mind wrapped around it. To go along with that, to make things a bit easier, magic is unlocked from the very get-go. So you're not limited to just your first 3 techs on anyone. Everyone can access all their techs from the start, in the sense that you can learn tech points for them. Normally, Chrono, Luca, Marl, and Frog have to go visit the End of Time to unlock magic. That's no longer the case with the open magic set. Also tonight we have boss randomizer, meaning that all the bosses you see may not be the bosses you're used to seeing there. They are scaled appropriate to their location. So running into, say, a Lavos spawn on Xenon Bridge, I mean, it's still scary, but it's not as scary as, say, running into the same Lavos spawn somewhere in the Black Omen. It looks like we are getting close to being ready again. Our person with technical issues has reset and has come back. And so they're going to ready up, which should be our sign to get ready to go. All right, looks like we are just about there, so we're going to kill our pregame music, get our in-game sounds ready. Oh, I can do this. Streaming required. All right, so we are going to be getting underway here in just a moment. Oh, wait, no. Oh, that was a no. Someone saying no to good luck, have fun. Wow. Oh, y'all might actually like to see what's happening. That's kind of important. There's that. And our countdowns have started. We will be getting underway. A big shout out to Mian, who is doing some tracking for us tonight to help keep me honest. And chat, we'll trust on you to keep the 2 of us honest. As we start with a Luca and a Magus, but that Magus being oddly colored means that Magus is Robo. So, this Magus can access the desert and would be left behind to fix Fiona's forest. That's not confusing at all, but even though it's Robo, it's also Magus, so it will learn Magus techs and be stuck on Magus tech pass, meaning 50 tech points to unlock the first tech. That's not confusing at all. And we're going to see most everyone taking some early chest, early shops. You're looking to buy some early gear to allow for safety. So you're looking for things like mid tonics, ether, shelters, heals. stuff that you're going to carry with you throughout the rest of the game. Less looking for gear, because we're going to find plenty of gear. We do see AzureCale heading into the desert to go pick up some extra chests. You can go in here and skip most fights, and by doing so, get some in-game gear. Kyuketsuki is taking the first fight in Denodoro. If you manage to actually clear this fight, you get 8 tech points, which is enough for Luca to learn her first tech. And then because of Chrono Trigger's tech doubling bug, you will actually get her second tech as well, because you duplicate tech points learned if you learn a tech. Looks like Akuheish also taking that route. Lordbatsy is going to be accomplishing the same objective, but using a different set of fights. And AzureCale has finished up the desert run and has found some silver earrings, possibly. Didn't look like he bought any of those. Some mid-tonics. But in general, we're seeing people trying to get a few techs to learn their first tech. The first tech for Luca was Protect. That's sad. But the second tech is Flare. So we're going to have Flare all day long. Unfortunately, Magus requires 50 tech points to learn his first tech, so we're not going to be seeing any techs from him anytime soon. It looks like the Moonstone is for sale at the Snail Stop. This is one of the quote-unquote free items we can get. But free in this case does mean 9,900 gold, which we won't be seeing. At least for a while. The other free item we can get is by helping the carpenter and his wife. Really helping his wife, because the carpenter's too busy being drunk on soda. We're about to see Akuheish go pick up the carpenter's item. In vanilla Chrono Trigger, this would be the tools. The tools have been replaced completely and would now be the Grand Leon, but it's a randomizer, so it could actually be just about anything. What we're looking for is one of 3 different go modes. The first desired go mode would be to get the gate key, the Dreamstone, and the Ruby Knife. This would allow you to go through the Black Tyranno layer, and that would take you to 12,000 BC, go to Zeal, and from there you can go and fight Lavos by going through the Ocean Palace. The other desired go mode is getting the Pendant, the Chrono Trigger, and the Clone. The Pendant gives you access to the future, and having the Clone and Chrono Trigger allows you to climb Death Peak, where you would typically resurrect Chrono. But in this case, you summon the Black Omen and can go fight Zeal 2 as the final boss. We did see that the Carpenter item was the Bent Hilt. So that's the third go mode getting some love, which is if you get both parts of the Masamune and you get Frog, in this case the character named Frog, who may or may not actually be Frog, you can go through Magus's castle, and then that will also take you to 12,000 BC, where you can go through Ocean Palace to fight Lavos. And our tracker's saying they didn't see if Azure picked up the broken hilt or not. His auto tracker isn't on. And with 4 people to keep track of, it's hard to keep track of all of them. I would expect that he did, but we'll probably find out sooner rather than later. Azure is our first character into the cathedral. You will get a third character. It's another Luca. It is an oddly colored Luca. And this Luca is Frog. So we now have Frog and potentially a broken hilt, which means we're 1 item away from having go mode already. Also, it means we have 2 characters with flair. are two characters who will very quickly learn Flare. Akuheish is just slightly behind, and it will be picking up his Luca-named frog as well. Lordbatsy and Kyuketsuki both following fairly shortly behind. This is a fairly standard route, around 6-7 minutes. You've taken all the free checks, and you're now looking to start getting a third character in your party, possibly find an easy boss to get a fourth character in your party. And we see Flare already going to work, dealing 2,000 damage to these poor Nagaets. Oh, something I have learned today. Tech orders can be different with duplicates. So just because Luca number 1 learned Flare as her second tech does not guarantee that Luca number 2 will learn Flare with her second tech. That is news. To me. This is one of the newer modes, so there's still lots of things being learned by everyone. Thankfully, we've got a great community who helps keep each other honest. Azure is going around collecting some extra power tabs. Kyuketsuki says, I've got 3 characters that I like. I don't care about finishing the cathedral. I don't want a 4th character. One thing we do have is duplicate techs between characters, meaning that if you have 2 of the same character, they will have some sort of combination tech, because otherwise you never get like dual techs. Mian seems to know that Luca's duplicate dual tech isn't great. I'm gonna guess it's like some combination of like double fire 2, maybe? Oh, it's protect all. Everyone gets protect. Oh, no, you just have 2 people who cast Flare. There is no dual tech. You just cast Flare repeatedly. Speaking of flares, lordbatsy using Flare on the henchman, dealing another 2,000 damage. While akuheish is slightly further ahead in the cathedral, we're seeing some equipment go through. Nothing too exciting there. Kyuketsuki has abandoned the cathedral and is going into Hecarim Cave, because you'll get lots of tech points. And with 2 Lucas who may learn Flare, a very easy, well, what could be an easy fight, because this is boss randomizer. We still haven't seen a boss. We're 10 minutes in and no one has seen a boss yet. So even though this is Hecarim's cave, it may not actually be Hecarim. Azure is just now going to get the broken hilt, but you already have the frog, so everyone's going to be in the same spot. 1 step away from go mode. All we have to find is the broken blade, and we can go fight Magus and go fight Blavos and make this a really fast seed, but no one knows where the blade is yet. Alright, our first boss is coming up on akuheish's screen. Normally you would fight Yakra. This could be anyone. Single target bosses are replaced with single target bosses, so Yakra could be any single target boss, so Masa and Mune, Dalton Plus. Oh look, it's Masa and Mune. So Masa and Mune will attack just like Masa and Mune would on Dinadora Mountain, but his damage and HP are scaled to be appropriate for this level of a dungeon, meaning it will be significantly lower, but also you're significantly lower. So in theory, at least, the fight should be relatively sane. Pseudo Arc in chat chanting Dalton's Cave, wanting to see Dalton Plus. Masa and Moon is already dead. Look, I saw a flare go off, and it looks like a Berserk Magus. That might have been enough to finish it. Did I see the armadillos drop a Wonder Shot? Surely not. So Kyuketsuki is coming up on the Hecarim boss, which may not be Hecarim. Pseudo Arc chanting for Dalton. Dalton Plus is our least favorite boss, just because he's so ridiculously fast and does so much damage. It's really hard to take him out early. I'm very curious to watch Azure fight the armadillo type characters that are coming up. I could have sworn I saw something about a Wonder Shot drop. Looks like Magus dropped a, or has learned Dark Matter. And we see Chrono has been picked up. I did not see if it was actually Chrono or someone posing as Chrono. It is Frog Chrono. It is actually a frog. So not to confuse anyone, Luca is Frog, Frog is Chrono, but Luca is also Luca while Magus is Robo. It's not confusing at all. Alright, looks like Hecarim is actually Hecarim. And I missed the armadillo drop. I still don't know if that was a Wonder Shot. I'm kind of disappointed. So, a vanilla Hecarim will have slightly randomized HP, but you've got Magus and Luca with Dark Matter and Flare. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. Alright, we're about to see the Xenon Bridge item that Mian was teasing us about. What are we going to get as our Xenon Bridge item? It is the Bent Sword! So, Akuheish is now in go mode, because we have the requirements to go through Magus's castle. Now, to keep the Bent Sword, you do have to defeat the boss that is on Xenon Bridge. The boss is typically Zombor, but can be randomized with any 2-target boss in the game. So, typically this means a Lavos spawn, or one of the mutants from Black Omen. If it turns out to be Giga Mutant, who drains your MP every time you attack, and people didn't buy Ethers, that could be a very difficult fight. If it's a Lavos spawn, this team has 0 single target damage, and at least on Akuheish's screen, Magus is berserked, which could be a death sentence if it's a Lavos spawn, because you can't control where Magus is going to hit. lordbatsy also picking up the Bent Blade. It is in her go mode. The Ruby Knife has just dropped from defeating Hecarim by talking to Tabin. And Kyuketsuki must speak to the cat or his run is invalid. No, Kyuketsuki is invalidated. He did not speak to the cat. So Kyuketsuki automatically forfeits the race. The cat is the most important character in Chrono Trigger. And Kyuketsuki is heading to Dinodoro Mountain next. So we know where Go Mode could be. But if it's a terrible boss, coming to Dinodoro might get you the gate key, at the very least get you some levels. Akuheish gets the menu skip on Zenin Bridge. Doing this would give him the chance to swap out the Berserker, which he may already have, because I can't imagine he would have left it on. And we get to see who this boss is. The boss is a Lavos spawn. That is the most glitched Lavos spawn ever. You have to hit the head. If you hit this body, of course, you take all sorts of damage. You have two Lucas and a Magus who have to auto-attack their way through Lavos. I think I saw Fire 1 on Frog Luca, so you could use that to do better damage. But Magus has 0 single target until he learns Anti-Life. Normal Luca has Flare, which, I mean, does lots of damage, but will also cause counterattacks. All right, AzureCale also getting ready to go find out about the Bit Blade. So we're going to have 3 characters on Zenin Bridge. Lordbatsy has swapped in Frog Chrono, who has an AoE heal. So Lordbatsy probably could do, like, flare counterattacks. Also, you have apparently has Water 1 and a Luca with Fire 1. And I missed it. Akuheish apparently did flare and get the kill, and has made it through what could be a very dangerous dungeon. So with that, Akuheish has secured his Go mode. The question now is, at what point do you feel strong enough to go tackle Magus's castle? Taking a look at the attacks that are being cast, this appears to be the Lavos spawn that would traditionally be on Death Peak. On the plus side, everyone's going to be unchaosed and unconfused. On the downside, I think everyone's down to like 50 HP. So Lordbatsy having a little bit of a struggle. Kyuketsuki getting ready to fight whatever is on top of Dinodoro Mountain. So another chance for Pseudo-Arc's desired Dalton Plus shenanigans. And Lordbatsy has killed the Lava Spawn. So that's 2 characters in Go mode with the item secured. AzureCale getting ready to find out that he also gets to face a Lava Spawn with his 2 Lucas and a Magus. Meanwhile, we have the Massa and Moon fight, which is not randomized because we couldn't randomize it. However, the follow-up fight will be randomized. Ooh, an unfortunate flare. You have to be able to do 1,000 damage to escape the worst outcome, which is getting dual countered. And Luca's Flare only doing 950 damage. And now both lordbatsy and akuheish almost synced Masamoons. Alright, so with Masamoons in tow, will they go straight into Magus's castle? AzureCale taking on the Lava Spawn. Considering burning through Lapises for survival, and it looks like the boss on Dinador Mount is a golem, so you want to be able to alternate techs in such a way to have fire followed by something followed by fire, because ending on fire gives you a single target counter, while ending on shadow, it gives you a huge laser spin to the face. Luca using the Masamoon to cut open a rock. I kind of want to see her throw a bomb at it instead. Oh no, she hits it with a hammer. Luca hits a mountain with a hammer and it splits open. Alright, so we have 3 people in go mode, with Kyuketsuki finishing up the Dinadoro fight. Seeing in chat, lordbatsy did go check to see who's in Frogsboro, because you could get another character, and it appears to be a copy of Marl, but no one wants Marl, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna either see like dual Luca Frog or it's gotta be dual Luca Frog or dual Luca Magus. You're not giving up a Luca. By taking Frog, you do get the Masamoon for lowering Magus's magic defense, but you only have 2 elements of damage. If you take Magus, you don't get the Masamoon, but you get all elemental coverage if Magus learns enough techs, and you could split it up into Luca, Magus, Frog, and kind of get the best of both worlds, but then you either have a Luca or you have a Luca who is not learning techs. Although, to be fair, Luca Prime doesn't need techs. She has Flare. And so we begin the fight versus the 100 monsters in Magus's castle. Fortunately, or unfortunately, we will be running from most, if not all of them. And Mian doing us a very strong solid, checking in on Falcon Hit, who apparently has gone back to fight the lava spawn again. Yeah, we've got races galore. And Falcon Hit is now through and forging the sword. So we've got 4 people who are basically in go mode. Kyuketsuki took a reset, is having to restart the fight against Masa and Moon. And AzureCale did collect the Marl, I guess, maybe just to see, did we get lucky and get a Marl who immediately knows Ice 2 and Haste? And AzureCale is going into Dinadoro Mountain for some reason. I don't know what to make of that. Meanwhile, Slash has been replaced by Dalton Plus. Pseudo Arc, your prayers have been answered. We have a Dalton. And lordbatsy says, nope. We're going to reset out. We're going to go save before we die. Because, needless to say, Dalton Plus is not a fun fight. The downside, of course, if you go straight into this fight and you die and you haven't stepped out to save, you have to go through the whole silent castle sequence again, which adds a good 2.5 minutes to your run. So seeing a dangerous boss here, I would not be shocked if we saw every runner come in, see Dalton, and jump out and be like, no, we're going to go save first before doing this again. Alright, so straight back into the Dalton fight. So Dalton is kind of like the anti-golem. The golems attack you with the element you attack them with. Dalton attacks you with the opposite element. So that means when Luca casts Flare, Dalton's going to cast Water too and hit everyone. If you attack him with a weapon, he counters with Iron Orb. But you also get these little fire orbs that come out. The first two don't do much damage. The second round he does slashes that can probably do about 120 damage at this level. And then he follows up with more orbs that will one-shot characters. And Luca Prime is dead. There's the first slash, and we have a reset. Dalton is scary. If I were running this seed, I would be grinding on the skeletons to get a few extra levels under my belt before fighting Dalton. Just to have a little bit of extra HP. Okay, Azure has come back to the cathedral and is looking for another character. He's going to be disappointed. Kyuketsuki trying to get through this golem, but even if he gets the kill now, he still dies to the burp. Alright, so lordbatsy said, no, I'm going to go fight the other fight first. It's a Nizbel. That's a bit more survivable. So Kyuketsuki kills the golems, but also has to reset and do it again because everyone died. Huh. So we're getting told that the dual techs don't seem to be working. And this is actually a fight where you'd want that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I set it up to have the dual attacks. Kyuketsuki seems confused. No. If you want to go back, I don't think you can go back from here. Can you reset? Kyuketsuki's looking for a reset instead of fighting the golems. I don't know that there's actually a reset to kick you out of the fight. Although if you die, you get kicked out to the save point, which should be outside of the pit, and you could walk out. All right, so while we figure out whether or not I screwed up, AzureCale has picked up another character. He has a frog, a very red frog in his party, and is a little bit sad. Kyuketsuki making another attempt at the massive moon pairing, while both lordbatsy and akuheish try to take on Nizbel, who's going to have higher HP in this location probably than what we're used to. And also, no one has lightning to shock him. So, a potentially dangerous seed. A dangerous fight. Azure now getting ready to make his way into Magus Castle and to find the fun that is Nizbel and Dalton Plus. While Kyuketsuki continues to take on Masa and Mune. The Masa and Mune fight should be winnable. The trick is going to be cast Flare with Luca, wait for the auto attack, follow it up with anything, and then another fire attack from the other Luca. Wait for the counterattack, follow up with anything that's not fire, and a flare from first Luca. And we are going to ban the crap out of you, if I can figure out how. Alright, so power tabs being spammed. They are +4 power tabs. That will help slightly. Mian actually beat me to it, but thank you. Screw people who sell quote-unquote viewers. So what does Dalton Fight look like now? Alright, so we're still getting the flares into Ice 2s, but with Frog available, We do get AoE healing, so that's absorbable, at least temporarily. So the problem with using this tactic is that you only get like 3 attacks on Dalton before he starts one-shotting your party. And with Luca's naturally low speed, getting people back up after they've been one-shot is very difficult. And I don't think a protect is going to be enough to actually keep anyone alive. I was wrong! The protect dampens the damage just enough. The one shot is protected from. The use of protect is really good. Now all we have to figure out is why don't we have dual protect? Because protect all would have actually been really, really nice. No, I don't think you're missing anything right now. We just got boss fights going on, Mian. I think we're good. On akuheish's side, we have the one-shot coming in. No, we're past the one-shots. Are we just going to get the Miracle Flare? We're getting the heals out. So Luca, Prime, and Chrono Frog, will survive the one-shot that's about to come. Barely. And with a mid-tonic, we'll actually be in a position to now finally deal damage. You know, it's only been, what, 8 ATB bars, and we're finally getting to cast an attack? akuheish taking a few fights here is going to grind for a bit. We see Marl getting some equipment. Makes me wonder if Marl actually does have haste in her inventory. Alright, Protect is beginning to wear off on people. That's how long this fight is going. Okay, Angro is reporting that I failed to select duplicate duels. I know I opened it to select it, but then I had to refresh the screen for some reason, and maybe it didn't carry over even though everything else did. My apologies to the runners for screwing it up. Thanks, Angro, for letting me know that I screwed up. Just call me Cloud Strife. Shoutouts to Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged. Yes, I think I'm allowed to shout out the opposing JRPG. More Dalton fights. So we have two characters fighting Dalton, a third who's ready to fight Dalton, a Dalton who refuses to go down. I think that's 6 flares we've seen. But with Flare taking 20 MP, having to heal, having to protect, I think we're getting 1 flare for every 8 or 9 ATB bars, which means we're getting 1 flare for every 8 or 9 Dalton attacks. Because not only do you have to keep Luca's 8 MP up to cast Flare, you have to keep Frog's 8 MP up to cast Cure. After every Flare. And Kyuketsuki has defeated the Golem! We get to see what item is going to be atop of Denador Mountain, because I'm pretty sure the answer is Sadness. And Lord Dalton falls, sucked into a black hole of his own making. For some pitiful rewards, but you do get a speed tab. And an immediate save. Now, how many ethers does lordbatsy have left? 20 ethers left. That's probably enough to get through Magus' castle, but not much more. Crap, I didn't see the item on Denadoro. Looking for the auto tracker to update. Looks like the pendant got picked up. Thank you, Mian, for catching that. So with Dalton down, lordbatsy is going to be the first making their way through the rest of the castle, while akuheish and AzureCale begin fighting this again. Now, neither of them have a frog in their party, which means you don't have AoE heals that are coming. So you're going to be counting on just flat out damaging Dalton. And if the fight we saw from lordbatsy is any example, you can't do that. Certainly not and keep MP up on anyone. All you have are mid tonics, maybe a single lapis. I think without swapping frog, Dalton Plus is going to be a huge barrier on everyone. Kyuketsuki says, I have the pendant. I'm not going to check Xena Bridge. I'm going to go to the future and see if I can't find a different go mode. All right, there's the first one-hit KO coming through. There, you're going to attempt to revive. The saving grace is that Magus is the one person who stayed alive with a high speed. Now dropped, you have a 50 HP Luca who will not survive this attack. I'm wrong. Has 7 HP left. Going for the Miracle Flare. Will this be enough damage? Yes! akuheish has just enough damage. A 7 HP, 8 MP Luca is going to barely survive and pull out that fight. What a flare! So the grinding on the skeletons paid off because every level is about like 50 damage on flare. That is ridiculous. I was about to say put some F's in chat for akuheish. He proved me wrong. What a madman. Meanwhile, AzureCale is going on to take on Nizbel. Nizbel has fallen. So that is another Nizbel down. Azur's going to have to go fight his Dalton now. Don't know if Azure has the levels necessary yet. Kyuketsuki is getting ready to face the Dragon Tank as part of the prison escape. Grinding a fight, it looks like, for lordbatsy. Looking for something to get some extra tech points. This is a decent fight because Flare will one-shot the team. No? Maybe running out of Magus's castle. May have run out of mid-tonics. All right, so the run-up there is finished. Kyuketsuki taking on the Dragon Tank. The Dragon Tank, just like in vanilla, the head is immune to fire and lightning magic, but the developers didn't think you would have access to ice or shadow. So Magus and Dark Matter can cast Dark Matter all day long and basically wipe out the Dragon Tank in one round, almost. Alright, looks like mid-tonics were on the menu for lordbatsy. I'm guessing since she came out, we're going to also see a hunt for some ethers as well. As Akuheish puts on a skip showcase to skip a bunch of fights. Or not. Besides, this is a fight worth taking because you can get enough. And Kyuketsuki finishing off the Dragon Tank in short order. I didn't see the item pickups. Typically, Dragon Tank drops some really good gear. There's the purchases. It's all the revives. It was a desperate desire for revives. All right, second round of skips possibly coming in from Akuheish. Turns out you can actually skip about 2/3 of the fights from Magus's castle with proper positioning. So Kyuketsuki has access to the future now, and with access to the future, you get the charge pendant, which allows you to open the sealed door, sealed chest. So quite a bit of extra gear. And we have AzureCale facing Dalton Plus with Antipode 3. Which means lightning counters, which are probably slightly less damaging. And Magus is on Lapis duty. And just quickly enough getting in the menu inputs to get another Antipode 3 off. So we're going to see some good damage on Dalton. It's probably not going to be enough for a kill, so he's going to have to make it through the one-hit KO phase. Kyuketsuki has gone to Protodome looking for another character. All right, and now Azure says, Marl's dead. time to break out the dark matter. And Azure is through the Dalton Plus in a much quicker fight than we've seen from the other two people who've defeated Dalton. Had a few extra levels, has Marl on the team for Antipode 3, which is possibly the strongest dual tech in the game. It is another frog in the future. This one colored pink, which I think means that it's Ayla. So, Cave Woman Frog. And I think we're about to get a message that Kyuketsuki is not a fan of Frog being in the party. Akuheish in the fight with Ozzy. We're going to swap the sound over. See what kind of gear the chains are giving us today, hoping for something good. Lapises and hyper ethers. That is a treasure trove. After everything Dalton put everyone through, that is huge. That's going to give some help for the Lavos fight, because you get some AoE healing on teams that may not have good AoE healing. And Mian reporting to us, Falcon Hit is currently in the fight against Magus, which means we've got 3 or 4 people in about the same place, and it looks like we've got a forfeit. Or a dead stream 1. So since we have that, I'm going to see if we can't bring Falcon Hit into Falcon Hit. Bear with me while I try to bring us in another racer. Just judging on the sound, because I'm not able to look, it sounds like akuheish is in the final climb to go face Magus. As we bring in Falcon Hit to join the stream, as he is fighting Magus. And turns out Magus today is actually Magus. So we've got 2 Magus fights. One that's been going on for a little bit, one that is just getting started. And an unlucky skip by lordbatsy trying to get up to the Magus fight. AzureCale has caught up, is going to be going through the Room of Hidden Pits, has made it through, is going to start their climb through the last set of skips, and also gets unluckily caught by the Outlaw. On Falcon Hit side, we see Magus risk casting a spell, so we're getting close to the end of the Magus fight there. If they can get through quick enough to avoid the Dark Matter counter. With Antipode 3 in tow plus Dark Matter, there should be enough damage if there's enough MP. Unfortunately, you do have Marl and Luca, the two slowest characters in the game. And Magus, the evil one, strikes back with a Dark Matter and causes a wipe. Oh, Caillou's stream is back up. He finished Son of Sun, got the Hero Medal, which turned into a Dreamstone, which means he's got Dreamstone plus Ruby Knife needs the gate key to get Go Mode through Black Toretto. If it wouldn't be such pain, I'd swap back. We don't have a way to show 5 streams at once. We're not that good. On akuheish's side, we are seeing we got a lucky shadow barrier change, so we get some high damage dark matter attacks. On Falcon's side, we're seeing the restart of the Magus fight. Looks like there's a fire barrier up, so we're getting some flare damage. Falcon is going to benefit from having an extra element worth of coverage. Because Marl theoretically could cast Ice 2 for damage. But so long as the barriers keep staying fire and shadow, I think they will be perfectly content to cast the 20 MP spells. So there's the water barrier for Falcon Hit, which means Marl could still do damage. Lordbatsy finishing up their fight against Ozzy, getting the Hyper Ethers and Lapises. Al0, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy this randomizer with duplicate characters and randomized bosses. Although right now, of course, the bosses don't look too randomized. It's still a Magus, but it's not, well, it is Magus like it seems, but it's different. On Falcon's side, we have a dead Magus who just got revived, a Lapis pop to get everyone back up to decent HP. Geyser cast is going to drop everyone to about 200, which puts them in death range of Dark Matter. And Akuheish is the first through the Magus fight. So with Magus down, the gateway to Zeal is open, as is the gateway to Ocean Palace and fighting Lavos for our endgame. And Mian telling us that our 5th runner, Kyuketsuki, is now doing Zenin Bridge, which is, we know, where the Broken Blade was, that gave everyone else their go modes. So an unfortunate rush, leaving him looking for a go mode, sent him to the future by happenstance, putting him in a long route. Huh. Frog looks like he's asleep before the fight starts. That's interesting. There's a nice, fun graphical glitch as lordbatsy and AzureCale almost starting the Magus fight in tandem. Looks like a dark matter came out of Falcon Hit, dropped everyone to, well, almost death. Luca survived with 20 HP. We are seeing a revive. We're going to get lapises across the board. Threw on a full tonic on Luca to make sure she survives the counterattack that's coming. As we have Antipode 3 and Dark Matter coming out. Hopefully this will be a kill. Dark Matter number 2 on Falcon Hit side. Robo and Maro will be dropping again, which also eats Luca's ATB bar because Antipode 3 had already been locked in. Caillou has reset out of Xenian Bridge and is now going to Arisdome. Interesting. That is our 5th runner who's off stream. He's looking for a gate key, which we don't know where it is, because that would give him go mode through a different route. And now we see Magus casting anti-life for damage. Luca's at full HP, can survive a dark matter. Anti-life's going to do about 2,000 damage. And Magus finally goes down. And I missed the new shop. Considering it seemed pretty quick, there must not have been much good or not enough cash to buy anything. We'll get another look at it here when Falcon hits up Zeal. AzureCale and lordbatsy both trying to finish off their Magus fights. And it looks like there is a friendly dark matter on Azure's side. And Flea has appeared in Zeal. And, you know, that's kind of fitting. She's going to have a lot higher HP. And you kind of want someone to die early so that you don't get Flea's The Stare attack, which basically causes your own party members to kill each other. Alright, we're going to check out the mythical new shop. Always has an amulet for sale. Usually has really good gear. Today has elixirs for sale. Elixirs aren't bad. You wish they were mega elixirs, but plain elixirs will do. On AzureCale side, I see Marl and Luca both taking a nap as Magus risks casting a spell, so that's going to be prepping for a dark matter. The question is, will Magus survive a dark matter? It being Shadow Element makes me think that with 333 HP, he will be fine. The new in Zeal will sell, does basically have 2 shops, depending on which side you approach it for. I saw the second shop had a lapis. AzureCale has finished off Magus. lordbatsy, who was the first to get past Dalton Plus, is going to be the last of the streamed runners to make it past Magus. Alright, we're seeing some interesting usage by akuheish. Flea is weak. Oh, it's Flea Plus. Is weak to sleep. So you load up a flare, a dark matter, and then put her to sleep repeatedly. So you get damage with no counterattacks back. Falcon Hit is saying, I'm just going to go in with Antipode 3 and dark matter. And it looks like Falcon Hit strategy not paying off as a reset comes in. We're going to try a second time. With the boss randomizer, you can get some really scary bosses. And it looks like tonight, the bosses aren't playing. They're playing for keeps. They're not being nice. Falcon Hit says, all right, now I know how to fix this. We're just going to anti-life so that you don't ever use your counterattack. Oh, wait. Magus has a green dream. We could do it again. AzureCale picking up a few elixirs. Auto attacks to change the elements. Yeah, unfortunately, with just Luca and Frog in the party, lordbatsy is kind of starved for element coverage. So she has to continuously auto attack until you get fire or water barriers, which takes a lot of healing to survive if Magus decides, no, I'm just going to routinely cast Shadow and Lightning. akuheish getting ready to enter our favorite grind spot. But did I see he only has one ether? Surely I misread that. No, he only has one ether and like 4 mid-ethers. So I'm guessing we're not going to see much grinding because you can't afford to spend the MP for it. Or I could be wrong. Falcon now also entering the Ocean Palace. AzureCale taking on Flea Plus. lordbatsy, I did see a water barrier, which means we can actually get a water attack off of Frog. And Mian reporting to us, Caillou has found Toma's Pop from Eris Dome. Thinking on the things that we've seen, the Toma's Pop will unlock Giant's Claw, which could have the gate key. We technically have access tomorrow, but only by having go mode, so you really hope not to run into the Prism Shard. The Moonstone is in the Snail Stop. Mount Woe is open, but only if you go through the factory to unlock the End of Time, which no one's going to want to do because Magic is already unlocked. So, by not wanting to do the Xenon Bridge fight, Kyuketsuki is going to be pushed into ever longer fights and ever longer paths. Okay, I see some barriers going up on lordbatsy's side, so he must have entered the final phase, preparing to survive a dark matter. AzureCale has defeated Flea Plus. akuheish is grinding. I am concerned about akuheish's availability of mana restoratives. But this is our favorite grinding spot in the game. The fight here gives you a bunch of tech points, a bunch of XP. If you can make it here, you can grind to a level relatively safely to where you can actually fight Lavos and survive. For new runners, we typically recommend you grind up to somewhere between level 28 and 30 before proceeding on, because that will put you in the level 30 to 33 range for the Lavos fight, which is enough in the randomizer. Do not fight Lavos at level 30 in vanilla. It is very, very painful. Unless you're using glitches. Alright, so both Falcon and akuheish still grinding for a bit. Lordbatsy has just defeated Magus. She'll be heading up soon, and AzureCale is now hitting the grinding spot. I expect we'll see even more Dark Matters and Flares. Well, Azure is trying to save some MP by using Dark Mist, but unfortunately it's not enough damage. And you're now going to get counterattacked multiple times. Possibly locked. And I don't know the last time that Azure saved. On the plus side, Ice 2 is now going to do enough damage. So now it's really a question of who's going to feel comfortable at what level. We have to wait for some item swap outs. Let's see, level 23, 24 for Azure, who's just reached the spot, which suggests to me that Falcon and akuheish are probably near level 27 or 28. akuheish is completely out of MP on his characters. So, well, almost completely out. The second Luca still has some. And luckily, the correct Luca got locked. Luca Prime is locked. Luca Frog is able to cast Flare. That was potentially dangerous. Alright. This is where we find out that you have... Oh, okay, 16 mid-ethers. That's better. akuheish is at level 30 across the board just about. That is probably high enough to go on. Maybe do one more reset, pick up another fight. Marl just learned haste for Falcon hit. That's a pretty big thing for us. Also nearing level 30. So level 29, 28, I expect Falcon hit is also close to finished with his grind. One interesting thing is normally when you come through this route, you wish that you have Ayla or Frog who know Dino Tail or Frog Squash respectively for the elevator sequence that's coming up. The only person with Frog in their party is lordbatsy. And Kyuketsuki has made it through Xenon Bridge, is forging the sword, which means he'll be preparing to go to Magus's castle. lordbatsy taking on Flea. We're going to see some flares and some slurp cuts. akuheish is finished with his grind, is now looking to make his way to the elevator without having access to Dino Tail or Frog Squash. Will be a bit of a slog on that elevator to make it through. I've not been paying attention to Frog's text. I don't know if chat has seen, does Frog know Frog Squash? Yes. Actually, Frog Squash may have been an early tech. So it could be that anyone with Frog in their party, which means people with Chrono in their party on the screen, may have access to Frog Squash. Falcon Hit does not have access to an actual frog. They only have access to frog imposters. Alright, everyone is through Flea and is starting their grind shortly. AzureCale in the grinding spot. lordbatsy approaching it, just entering Ocean Palace. akuheish about to hit the elevator. Falcon Hit is going through and completing their... They've completed the grind. They're making their way down to the elevator. This fight on akuheish's screen should be run from. because there you don't want to basically do this fight twice. So the way the elevator fight works, your first fight is against a Djinn, Barghest, and some Thrashers. The Djinn has a shield on it that you have to break by killing the Barghest, which is relatively easy. The second fight has a yellow Scouter, which can only be damaged by physical attacks or lightning spells. But it is the only Scouter in the fight, which means Magus with Lightning 2 could probably do okay, and you follow it up. The third fight, however, has 2 of each color Scouter, which means you have 2 that are weak to ice, 2 that are weak to fire, 2 that are weak to lightning. But if you hit them with something other than that element, they counterattack with an AoE screen grab, unless there's 3 colors available, at which point they do Delta Force. Needless to say, that's painful. So you have to auto-attack your way through 2 of the elements to take out the remaining element with an AoE attack. Kind of a long fight. Kyuketsuki taking a break to pour a rum and coke. After the scene that he's running through, I don't blame him for wanting a drink. So this is the triple Scouter fight. This is rather an annoying fight. So with auto attacks, it's going to take probably 3 auto attacks per scout. Magus has a Frenzy Band on, which will help, because if he gets attacked, you get a free attack. Alright, so 3 attacks took out scout number 1. I expect to see the yellow and blue scouts take it out with physical attacks, and then the red ones will be taken out with flare. If you think you could survive the counterattacks, you could do an ice into flare. You'll take 2 fire counterattacks, but if you can survive it, it might be quicker. Unfortunately, fake Luca, who is Frog Luca, or Luca colored like Frog, still appears to only have the pea shooter available. So basically does no damage. And now they're just casting Delta Force outright. That's going to be painful. We have a character down. Use of single target magic is good. I would hope that we see maybe single target fire, and then you could ice the 2 and only take the 1 counter. Falconit also starting the fight, but with Maul in the party has an extra element to work with, so does have some good damage. Is casting lightning too. It's going to take 2 counters, but should be able to survive and then finish up with single target damage. AzureCale starting the elevator fight, and lordbatsy just about getting ready to enter the grind zone. As akuheish finishes the elevator, breathes a sigh of relief, and then has to complete 2 of the more difficult skips or fight more scouts. Makes it through the first one. 1 more skip, and then the scouts are finally done, and all that remains is a duplicated boss that can be any boss in the game. And it can be, if it's a 2-part boss, you'll get each part. If it's a single target boss, they will be duplicated. The only bosses that are excluded is Dalton Plus, because we found out that dual Dalton Pluses is just absolutely terrifying. And I believe the lava shells or lava spawns cannot appear because they glitch the game. Because they, even though they are single target quasi fights, they're 4-target fights, and it just messes things up. Also, any boss we've run into in the game previously cannot be here. Each boss only appears once. So what we have is dual Nizbel 2s. That's actually kind of scary because they will do AoE physical damage and they don't get stopped by shock. So, will Dark Matters and Flares be enough? Alright, so lordbatsy is starting the grind. Well, akuheish, Falconet, both doing their Nizbel fights. akuheish about 10 seconds ahead right now. That is not much of a lead. There's the AoE damage coming in. That's 130 damage. And a counter attack for 34. Might want to take off that frisbee band. We see Antipode 3 doing 3,000 damage on Falconet's side. But Dual Flares doing about 4,000 damage without the ATB speed penalty that's incurred when you use a dual tech. Caillou has found Dalton and is weighing his options. I'm pretty sure that's what everyone has done when they found Dalton. Contemplate why they want to do Boss Randomizer. In the race room chat, Kyuketsuki has pointed out, making a fresh rum and coke is totally worth the time loss. We have 2 Nizbels down, almost synced Nizbels, which means we will have almost synced Lavos fights. And AzureCale has found his dual Nizbels. We'll also be going with the Antipode Dark Matter strategies, most likely, with Marl in the party. We'll get a good gauge for how far apart akuheish and Falconet are here coming up. As we'll see when their respective levels fights start. All right, 126.08 is the start of akuheish's Lavos fight. And basically 15 seconds behind is Falconhet, going into his fight with a slight higher speed because he's able to get a Dark Matter off before Destruction rains from the heavens. We have not seen Obstacle this seed. Obstacle can be any status effect, and it is applied to all 3 characters. Obviously, worst case scenario is that it's stop, because that's effectively a wipe. Best case, it's something like Sleep or Confuse that will be cured by the next attack. It must be Sleep because one of the Lucas has fallen down. And we're also seeing Falconhet is playing with a slightly higher battle speed, it appears, because he is already through the next phase. Your top-end runners do tend to run a higher battle speed, which gets you through battles faster, but leaves you with very little room for error in terms of applying your items and spells and getting through fights correctly. AzureCale has finished his Nisba fight, is starting their Lavos fight. About 4 or 5 minutes behind. Still well within reach. And even though Falcon Hit was going through the fast first, he has to reset. I don't know if he got hit by multiple sleeps or what happened, but taking a loss there. While akuheish is through, able to shelter up with the final shelter. That's a miracle shelter there. A save is put in, and we're getting ready to go into the Lavos fight. Now, I did not see what kind of consumables akuheish has left. At one point, he was running fairly low. Appears to have a few lapises, which is very important to be able to survive the upcoming boomerangs. We see Azure finish taking on his loss, just went through the obstacle. Luca falling asleep. Unfortunately, the boomerang's coming out, one-shotting both Lucas at full HP. Oh, that is painful. Downside of running the all-Luca Magus party is that no one has high HP. Getting them up is going to be difficult because you're going to have to take a turn to revive them and a turn to get some HP on them before you kill the final arm, because obstacle will kill them. Okay, the auto attack kills the arm, which means obstacle's going to go, and you've got to hope that Magus does not fall asleep. And lucky Magus is alive, which means you have a chance to revive a Luke. No, Shadowslay coming in just fast enough to prevent the heal. Only 3 revives left for akuheish. The next attack is Flame Battle. It's a single target attack. It's pretty weak and does not do enough damage to kill Luca. Unfortunately, the next attack is Shadow Doomblaze, and it will kill the entire party at this HP level. Alright, so Luca Prime will survive. The other 2 will be down. You get a momentary respite, which might be enough to bring people up. Or maybe the flare will be enough to get the kill. Seeing Caillou backed out of the Magus, went to Giant's Claw. Got the Grand Leon. I think that means the gate key is on Mount Woe. Or could be, I don't think he's done Genodome, so it could have Genodome, and we're missing either the gate key or the Chrono Trigger, I think, for him. Let's see, Falcon's getting ready for the start of his fight against Lavos. We see obstacle number 2 coming out. So the second time through Lavos' battle pattern, damage is increased by about 1.5 times. The next attack will be Shadow Slay, which will kill Luca, but will wake up Magus. Magus does have enough MP for a Dark Matter, which might be enough to finish the fight. Also, he gets a free counterattack with a crit for 400 HP. Those counterattacks are actually going to be really important. Falcon has taken down both arms and has all 3 characters up and running. Does not have enough HP to take a Shadow Doomblaze, I don't think. An Elixir comes out. So it is an empowered Shadow Doomblaze. That still may not be enough. Okay, so Magus survives, has 200 HP, can take an obstacle, but might die to the resulting Shadow Slay. But does get a couple of turns to throw out some Dark Matters. Maybe he can squeeze in enough damage. Lordbatsy is taking on the Nizbels. AzureCale just entering into Lavos. Falcon hit. Also in the end of stage 2. Almost done. akuheish does survive Lavos 2. Has a chance for the menu skip. There's a menu glitch where you can access the menu between Lavos 2 and Lavos Core. And hitting that is pretty important to being able to survive, particularly since 2 of your characters otherwise start the fight at 1 HP. Because they were dead. Falcon hit also has completed Lavos 2. And so we are nearing dual Lavos Core fights. akuheish does get the menu skip. Is healing everyone up as best as possible. Has 14 mid-tonics left. Is out of ethers, has some mid-ethers. Has 8 left, plus a few full and hyper ethers. That should be enough to get through the fight. And we see replacing the Frenzy Band with a Green Dream. So that's a free revive. Considering I think akuheish is completely out of revives. We see a tab invest going on to give Luca a bit more speed. Doing some quick checks, make sure you have the gear. Having this menu skip is huge. You can set things up the way you want them to be. And here you have 2 strategies. You can either go for a left bit kill, which requires doing 3,000 physical damage to the left bit, which no one's going to do because no one has any physical damage, or being able to do 8,000 damage, physical or magical, to the center bit, which will remove the center bit, stop time warps, and generally make the fight easier, but means you can't use AoE attacks on the right bit after it lowers its defenses because you'll trigger a counter attack in the form of a 800 damage X strike. People are asking, has anyone done Desert? No. I think people forget that one of the Lucas is Robo, and they can do Desert to get a Desert item. And we see Lava Score with the Chaos Song applies Chaos, Poison, and nothing to Luca Prime, so that's good. The counter attacks coming out, we see that X strike coming out for 700 damage on Falcon hit, but with Marl in the party, we can see Antipode 2 to do damage. We have a haste going on to Luca, which will allow for the cancellation of the dual tech ATB penalty. And with the Green Dream on, Magus stood right back up, could cast Dark Bomb, could take time to heal. We're just going to see some damage come out. Oh, we've lost a runner. We need to swap some people in. One moment. Meanwhile, we still have the fights going on. We're going to see if anyone's able to make their way out. So we bring Kyuketsuki back in. As we see both Falcon Hit and akuheish trying to take on the Lava's Core. The core has been respawned for Falcon Hit, so that means Flare and Dark Matter can be used again for 2 or 3 attacks. We'll see if we get some more damage in. And there's the revive on akuheish's side. So again, we can have Dark Matters and Flares come out there. How much HP on the right-hand bit? 25,000? 20,000? I don't remember exactly. Left bit is 3,000, center bit's 8,000, and Angry will correct me, 20,000 HP on the right bit. Alright, we see another counter attack coming out. Magus falls. Green Dream onto Luca. Luca unfortunately loses her haste. Life 2 is going to bring Magus back into the fight. On akuheish's side, Frog Luca is collapsed with no MP, so we may not see a revive there anytime soon. But if a Dark Matter or Flare takes out the center bit, you're going to lose a second character. Of course, if Lavos gets slappy, you're going to lose someone anyway. Wow. Magus survives with 15 HP. And we're going to be getting close to kills for both Falcon and akuheish. We're through the second revive cycle, so we ought to be getting close. AzureCale getting Antipode 2s onto the right bit, also going to be getting some good damage in. There's the defense restore and defense drop for Falcon Hit. akuheish throwing out Dark Bombs and Mega Bombs like they're going out of style. Has not revived the second Luca. And Falcon Hit gets the kill. I missed the final blow. 141.22 as the final time. Kyuketsuki says he thinks he's found a new bug. Looking at the screen, it looks like the bot has gotten stuck in a door. We're going to see if akuheish can finish off this fight here. Crying Heaven's Hidden Blow, that's going to be a wipe, I think, for akuheish. No, Luca survives with 16 HP. All right, are we going to see a second Miracle Flare? We're definitely pushing for it. But the defense is back up for the right bit, which means we're not going to get any damage there. And there's the kill on Luca. We'll see if we get a reset. We are. Akuheish is going to go back in to phase 2. Kyuketsuki has forfeited. So it is now down to Azure and Akuheish looking for a kill. And looks like the final, or Azure has just made the final hit. We see the GGs in the race room. With a final time 1:43.29 for AzureCale. So we're going to see Akuheish make one final attempt here at Lavos 2. I'm going to have to step away for a brief moment. Enjoy the final fight, and we will pick back up with Akuheish, hopefully on the Lavos core when I come back. All right, apologies for that. It sounded like one of my cats was stuck in a room, and all I could hear was them knocking on the door. All right, so we're getting a look. Akuheish is taking a Shadow Doomblaze, which should... Oh, no. That is a only 20 HP left, Magus. What are we going to see? Now we have another obstacle coming in. Magus falls asleep. Is going to get the Shadow Slay. It's going to drop him down to about 200 HP. And we're going to see if Magus is able to get enough damage. We got Shadow Doomblaze coming up in just a second. There it is. Is it going to do more than 314 damage? Oh, and there's another wipe. And Akuheish also calling it good with a very rough Lavos fight. So we are gonna call that an evening for tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed the duplicate characters. You can see how this can be difficult. You think, oh, we've got all these Lucas, it'll be perfectly fine. Flare is not enough on its own. when you have things like Magus or Dalton that you have to make it through because you have to have a little bit of elemental variety. It's a very Kyuketsuki saying it's a very generous seed. Just couldn't adapt to what was coming through. Falcon Hit saying got a triple lightning barrier with Maro, Luca, Magus, so you couldn't do any damage. You run into some interesting stuff. The boss randomizer makes things difficult. The duplicate characters makes things difficult. It is a fun way to inject some new life into the Chrono Trigger randomizer. I hope everyone enjoyed the showcase tonight. Some of these people, if not all of them, will be involved in the same race, doing the same, not the same seed, but the same flag set, so duplicate characters, randomized bosses, on SG Live on Sunday. I believe that is going to be at 7 o'clock Central Time. We're still waiting on the final time to get confirmed. But do go check out SG Live then. In fact, go check out SG Live now if they're doing something, because SG Live is awesome and they do some really cool stuff. And those of you who are part of the Jets of Time community, apparently Smirk is fighting Lavos in Discord. And I can't go host Smirk because Smirk is streaming on Discord, not Twitch. I guess I could try to screen cap Discord. For anyone who's interested, there's the link to our Discord channel. Go watch Smirk there. That's the easy way to do it. Because I certainly don't have this set up to go screen capture off of Discord, unfortunately. That may be something to work on in the future. But that's going to be it for tonight. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Hope people enjoyed the impromptu race. Give all the runners a follow if you can find their way to Twitch. Most of them are twitch.tv/ their usernames that you see on the screen. We don't have the bot set up for them because this was a very quick setup tonight, unfortunately. Go give them a follow. Give us a follow if you want to see some more Jets of Time action. And we'll see everyone Sunday night on SG Live as we go do this again with a really big audience. Hope to see everyone there, and we'll talk to y'all soon.